how's it going? Welcome back to another video. This week for Classic City Locks, we are going to be breaking down USC's schedule, USC schedule outlook. We did Notre Dame. Not sure which one's going to come out first, but both teams are playing on the 26th. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into this.
Yeah, so we're your hosts. I'm Wes. That's
I'm Mike.
Mike. What time is it, Mike?
I think it's time to lock in. It's time to lock in and dive right into this. This 26th, absolutely blockbuster game for USC. San Jose State. They're gonna win.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're winning. Nevada, week two. I also think this is a win. Easy. They're just gonna keep rolling. Too much offensive firepower. Then you get
yeah,
into real Pac-12 play. We got Stanford. This is at home for USC. I also think it's a dub.
yeah.
Stanford has
Stanford doesn't bring the firepower that USC
exactly.
has.
And from what I've seen, they actually have regressed from last year.
Yeah. And
We,
I mean the Pac-12 is going to be a super scrappy conference this
yeah,
year.
it is.
USC's fighting to be at the top of it, but this opening, 4-game slate for USC is unmatched. Like
Oh yeah,
they could sleep through it. They have those three, then they're off, and then they go to Arizona State,
yeah,
who's going to be better this year, but we're still giving them a win there. And
yeah.
then,
I agree. It's going to be a dub. And
yeah,
then if we're going to play against Coach Prime up
yeah,
at Colorado,
Deion Sanders, and the transfer portal U at Colorado is USC's next game.
and
That'll be entertaining. I will definitely tune into that one. I can't say I'll tune into USC San Jose. Well, no, I actually will tune
yeah,
into
I was about
USC
to
San
say,
Jose
hold
State.
on.
USC Nevada. Give
Yeah,
me a break,
yeah,
maybe.
I'll pass on that. But I think that Coach Prime is taking an L here. I am not high on Colorado. I am not a fan of transfer portal U, and I'm wouldn't say I'm actively preying on their downfall, but I'm going to be monitoring it.
I know this is USC's video, but what is Colorado's win total? We should look into doing a video on that.
Good
Who
point, because
knows?
I feel like the hype was way up here, and now like everyone's like, actually, they're gonna suck. So we'll see.
Yeah. In case you tuned out of college football for, the off season, half of it was dominated with
Yeah.
Colorado dialogue. And so, if you follow it like we do, you might be a little sick of it. Wishing them the best, obviously. But,
Oh yeah, it'll be fun.
yeah. So after at Colorado, Arizona comes to town. I got a dub here for USC.
Easy. Arizona football, not good.
Do they still have they don't still have Florida's backup quarterback, do
That
they?
was Arizona State. I
Oh,
was
I missed
waiting.
it.
I knew it was a matter of time before.
Oh, how
What's his
could I? I
name?
don't even know if he's still there. How dare me not doing my research on my favorite player, but that is unfortunate for sure. But anyways, they go to Notre Dame next week and watch our Notre Dame video if it's out. If it's not yet, it's coming out soon. Notre Dame, I got USC picking up their first loss of the season here. This is going to be a very tough road test for them, the likes of which they haven't seen, at Colorado or at Arizona State. And I think the lights of South Bend just get to them a little bit. I don't think that they're infallible like people tend to think of them. I don't know. What do you got to say, Mike?
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, we both agreed on this one in the last video. I think that at this point in the season, the big issue for Notre Dame last season was the quarterback play, in my opinion. And I think plugging in a dynamic piece like Sam Hartman, who's got a cannon of an arm, I think that fixes a lot of their problems. And I think you playing in that home environment, like you said, their defense should be better. And we know USC's defense, while it also should be better this year, was not good last year. And I think that the Irish get the dub here as well.
Yeah, I agree. And
Yeah,
my back is starting to hurt just looking at USC's schedule. I
I
mean,
know.
talk about backloading. You
It's
open the
brutal.
season with those type of games, and then you go at Notre Dame, Utah, at Cal, Washington, at Oregon, and UCLA to
It's
finish off the season.
insane.
Like that is just an absurd stretch that I
It is.
think the best of teams would have trouble navigating. So I mean, Utah coming into town. I've got USC winning this one, but this is a toss up in my eyes. I mean, I don't know what Utah is going to be like at this point. They've got some quarterback health questions. USC, I think if they lose to Notre Dame, is going to come back and win against Utah the next week. I'm a big fan of the, wounded animal mentality.
Yeah, USC's been getting whooped by Utah. I mean, they lost them
They
twice
have.
this season, right? And they had a lead in that Pac-12 championship game, believe it or not. That final score doesn't reflect how close it was for a while.
Yeah.
I agree with you. They're getting a dub here, a
They're
revenge.
angry.
Yeah, they need it. Caleb
Yeah.
Williams is in the midst of another Heisman campaign. He needs a dub,
Mhm.
and they get the job done there. Uh,
Yeah.
Next, I think probably the easiest game on this,
The
not
back end, yeah,
easier a second half of the season. I think they get a dub at Cal as well.
yeah. Give me that as well. Then they have Washington in town. So I think Washington is a little bit overrated this year. I'm not saying they're not a good team. I like Michael Penix, but I think that USC handles business against Washington. What do you think?
I am very torn
I'm
on
waiting
Washington.
for the reaction.
I the fact that they're at home, I'm going to give them the edge against Washington. But I would just like to say, Michael Penix returning, huge for them. I think that that's going to be a Heisman campaign quarterback.
Yeah,
And they're just, I feel like they're returning some of I remember reading that they're returning one of the best receiver cores. Their top five receivers are returning. They have one of the best duos in the country. I don't think Washington's overrated. I've heard that narrative. I think that they're going to be in contention. But as of right now, I'm going to barely give the edge to USC here. But
okay.
that could change. Right now, I'm going to have to stick with the Trojans at home.
All right. Take a break from the schedule for a second then. Who's winning the Heisman? Michael Penix or Caleb Williams? Does Caleb Williams repeat as a Heisman winner?
I would have to give him the my he'd be my one seed for right now, just because I think that that offense is going to be as good, if not better, this year, and the defense I would pray that it's somewhat better this year, and I think that he'd be in the driver's seat starting it off. Or is it Bo Nix time?
He's having fun. I would be shocked if Caleb Williams is not in New York for the Heisman as a
Oh,
Heisman finalist.
absolutely.
If Michael Penix wasn't in New York though, I could believe that, maybe
Totally.
something happened to him. I don't know. I could see him not finishing top four. I know I think top four in the odds market, maybe even top
He
two, but
finished. I'm almost positive in the top 10, if not like top 6 or 7
oh,
last.
last year, yeah, for sure. But I'm talking about, I think he's top two in the betting market this year, at
Yes.
least
Yeah.
top four. Um,
Yes.
yeah, rounding that out for you. But we'll go back to the schedule now for a tough game at Oregon against the Ducks and Dan Lanning and Bo Nix. I'm going to give the edge to Oregon in this one. So these schedule breakdowns, it's kind of tough because we're going through a game by game and trying to give you a loss and a win and a loss and a win. We can't just say USC is going to go 12-0. Like I think that they're going to lose this many games, so I'm going to pencil in a win or a loss here. I'm going to
Agreed.
give it a loss for this at Oregon. Tough environment.
Yeah, I hate to not be contrarian with you, but I agree. I think that that's going to be a tough environment. We saw Dan Lanning do some good stuff at Oregon. I mean, other than getting whooped by Georgia in week one, and they
Yeah.
lost a tough one against Washington late in the season. It was a good season, and I think that Bo Nix has some positive elements and at home enough to get the job done. Oregon put together a good recruiting class, picked up a couple pieces in the portal. Yeah, I think that they're going to
Yeah.
get USC here.
So their final game of the season is against UCLA. And UCLA is not a pushover team. They've got their win total is at least over 8. This Pac-12 is going to be scrappy. They won some great games at the end of the season last year. Watch the Pac-12 after dark. If you're a football guy, if you're a football fan, if you're just watching anything after midnight, the Pac-12 will have some good matchups this year. This will be one of them. And I'm going to give the slight edge to USC in this one. I think Lincoln Riley's got a very good team, and they're keeping their playoff hopes potentially alive here.
Yep, I'm going to give them the dub as well. I think that while I'm giving USC the win, I think that it's kind of weird that we're not seeing UCLA in the bottom of the AP poll. I mean, would you rather play Tulane or UCLA week one? I'd take Tulane any day.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately for them, I think USC's firepower is going to be too much, and I'm going to have them rounding out the season with a dub.
Yeah, those Chip Kelly offenses are something else, man. We'll see. But they've got some quarterback questions too. A little bit of drama there.
Yeah.
But so worst case for USC, I'm gonna go, man. I'm gonna go 9-3 here. Maybe 8-4. I wrote down 8-4, but as soon as I look at that, I question it. Notre Dame, Oregon. I'm gonna stick with 8-4 because the Pac-12, man, they're just gonna eat each other alive this year. I
Mm.
think. So 8-4 is my worst case. What about you?
I'm going to say absolute rock bottom, worst case scenario, 7-5. They just
Ooh,
get ripped to shreds in the second half of the season,
ooh.
losing at Notre Dame, can't kick Utah. then they lose to Washington, Oregon, and then throw an upset game in there because it could be UCLA. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm glad I went with 8-4 after you went with 7-5. You don't often surprise me, especially USC. You were so high on them last year.
No, I'm West. What did we just say here? This is a worst case scenario. This is not what's going to happen. I think this is a playoff contender team, but
you heard it here first. Michael Shinholster predicts USC to go 7-5.
Yeah. But I mean, you just said it. I think that this, even though the conference is exploding, everyone's like pulling the pin on the grenade and throwing it as they walk out the door. I mean, like all of a sudden everyone wants to play. Washington,
Yeah.
UCLA, Oregon State. I mean, this is going to be a fun Pac-12 to watch. I
agree.
I could realistically see on selection day Washington, Oregon, or USC getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe not Washington in my mind, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're talking about with over.
Give me Oregon State. Oregon State has an easier schedule, but we'll go. We'll move on before
we might have to talk about that more later because I'm buying into Washington.
All right. Well, the most likely record for USC, I'm going to give them a 10-2. I think that. Yeah, you concur. I think that that's fair. But best case, I got 11-1. I mean, best case they could go undefeated, but it's like we talked about. Yeah,
you gotta get realistic to a degree. Like there's no way they get through that second half of the season without at least one.
I think there's like some crazy stat about like undefeated teams in the regular season, and like I know Georgia just did it, yeah, but like it's so rare, and I don't think that USC has the caliber of defense this year to do that. Yeah. So I'm going 11-1 best case.
All right, well, that's going to round it out, right? Unless you have any thoughts.
No, I don't have any final on USC. It'll be interesting to watch this year.
Yeah, it should be good. Fun Pac-12 to round it out before we say goodbye to them forever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
stay tuned for more videos, though.
Exactly.
We got a lot in the works, a lot coming.
Yeah, let us know if you like this type of video, and we're gonna keep chugging away at these interesting teams. Thanks, y'all, and we'll see you around next video.